No Man's Sky is one of the biggest games ever made. So if you want to know how to make loads of money early on, where you can get a free space freighter, and generally get off to the best possible start, well, we've got some essential tips for you in this video. So the main thing that you're going to want in No Man's Sky is money, because money buys spaceships, ground vehicles, exosuit gear, fancy new freighters, and happiness. And the best tip I can give you is to upgrade your scanner so you can earn a fortune just by scanning undiscovered life. You don't need to break your back mining minerals or searching for rare resources. Instead, visit the technology merchant located on the far right of every spaceport. Then select Purchase Upgrade Modules and buy the S-Rank Scanner module. It costs nanite clusters to buy, so you will have to have scanned some creatures beforehand and bank up a few of those juicy clusters. Finally, just install it onto your multi-tool. Now you can get around 20,000 units for every new planet and animal you scan. The S-Rank Scanner module is a license to print cash, so make sure to grab it as soon as you can and start monetizing all life in the universe. In terms of both its value and how easy it is to obtain, chromatic metal is hard to beat. All you need to do is farm either copper, cadmium, emerald, or indium. Then process them into chromatic metal using the portable refiner. Just scan a planet from space to see what elements it contains, and you can decide whether or not to touch down. Now, in my experience, copper is the easiest to find, so I'd recommend farming that, craft chromatic metal, and sell it for cash. And chromatic metal is not only a great and reliable way to make money, but it's also one of the ingredients you need for antimatter. And antimatter is how you make a warp cell, which is crucial in warping between systems. So it's a really good idea to stockpile chromatic metal, because you'll not just be selling it as is, but also using it in other recipes loads. Selling precious resources at a space station trading terminal gets you the most cash, but every space station has different buy rates, so some offer you more money than others. If the resource you spent ages harvesting is going for peanuts, just warp to a new system and try your luck there. Thankfully, you can check the economy of a system before you get there by first bringing up the galactic map screen and then using the D-pad to change filters to economy. This not only tells you the status of the system's finances, like whether they're doing well and have loads of cash to splash, or if they're poorer than dirt, but it also tells you what they specialize in, so it could be mathematics or alloys or something else. Prize goods can be sold for a high price, so head there and sell your lot and you'll be cruising in style in no time. And also, if you see an item going for cheap in one system, buy a load of it in bulk, because then you can sell it in another system for profit. It's simple economics. For me, the most valuable resource you want to nab is the Whispering Egg. It's found randomly near buildings, so when you find it, shoot the egg, grab the glowing orb, avoid the nasty aliens that burst from the ground by boosting onto the roof, and rinse and repeat. The Whispering Egg goes for an absolute fortune at spaceports, so make sure to grab them. If you're bored of tucking up your knees and riding around in a cramped spacecraft, you're in luck, as you can actually have your very own space freighter. And you're in double luck because your first freighter is free. To find it, you just have to warp to a new system. It took me 3 warps until I found my first freighter. Then tune into the right communication frequency by pressing D-pad down and then scrolling right to listen to them. Then you'll be prompted to come aboard and speak to the captain. After this, he'll actually give you his ship. The exact location of the freighter in this emergent mission is unique to you, so while I can't tell you exactly where it will be in your game, I can say that all you have to do is hop from system to system until you see the freighter, then dock with it. A little while later, I found a fleet of freighters and tuned into the communications frequency of one of the captains, and he offered to join my fleet, again free of charge. You can actually have up to 50 of these bad boys in a fleet and send them out on missions using the command screen here. I just love how big freighters are inside. There's so much room for activities. Once you've got your freighter in No Man's Sky, other players can join you aboard to do things like customize their character, enlist on new multiplayer missions, and chat about their favorite Xbox On videos. Every planet in No Man's Sky is vast, and traveling around them on foot can take ages. But thanks to the hidden boost thrust, you'll make that journey loads faster and way more fun. To pull it off, just hit the melee button, which is RB, followed by the boost button, which is A. Hitting the melee button, then the boost button launches you up and forwards at great speed by using the momentum of your melee. Keep tapping the boost button rather than holding it down, and you'll jetson forward without using up too much precious boost fuel, letting you do it for longer, cutting those on-foot hike times in half. And if you want to get even more boost for your buck, visit the leftmost vendor on any spaceport. They sell an S-rank movement module for around 400 nanite clusters that increases your jetpack tank capacity. No Man's Sky is all about multiplayer, and there's nothing better than buddying up and exploring the universe with up to 3 other travelers. But if you'd rather go solo because, for example, your mate used the mining tool to drill through the floor beneath you and drop you into an inescapable pit of darkness because friendly fire is indeed enabled in this game, you can do that. If you go to the options menu and select network and then turn off network play, other players won't be able to join your game. This is handy if you're running into scenarios where people are shooting you whilst you're trying to mine, or playing the entire soundtrack to underrated 1991 Robin Williams movie Hook down the microphone, or being a nuisance. They may not be able to claim your inventory when you die, which is good, as only you can recover your own lost loot, but dying is still annoying. So with this tip, you can totally just close your universe off from the world and live in peace. In No Man's Sky, you can press left trigger to scan in flora and fauna to build a database of all the weird and wonderful things you see. Some missions you get are actually to scan all species of a planet's aliens, but sometimes it's hard to track them all down. I've had loads of times where there's one species left to discover and I can't find it for the life of me. But the thing that helped me was finding out about water. In this game, if there's water on a planet, at least one species is bound to be living in it. And if there's water and creatures living in it, you'll most likely also find flying animals around, so check the sky as well. Some of the smaller flying creatures you might have to shoot down, but don't worry, you can still scan dead animals. It's totally fine. So finally, if you can't find your missing alien species, check in a cave, as sometimes there are unique plants and animals living underground, and caves can be a lot bigger than you'd expect. It's worth mentioning that caves also offer environmental protection. If you need to warm up upon a freezing planet or shelter from poisonous gases, caves can give you respite from the cruel, cruel world. In the old version of the game, you used to be able to upload discoveries into the game's database for a monetary reward, but now your discoveries earn you nanite clusters. These are really useful because you can trade them for upgrade blueprints, and if there's one thing you need to know about me, it's that I love a blueprint. They are truly the best kind of prints. You can find all your discoveries in the menu, so bring that up, scroll down to upload all discoveries, and when you come back out of the menu, you'll be given those lovely nanite clusters for all the strange alien goblins and bomb-ass gassy planets that you find. If you found something very outrageous, such as a deer with tentacles for eyes, or a floating shrub made from jelly, it'll stay in your database forever, and you can look at them lovingly every single day. So if you're after upgrades for your exosuit or multi-tool, remember to scan everything and then upload them. It's great. I feel just like BBC's David Attenborough, only I have a jetpack. The analysis visor is incredibly useful because it shows you where everything is. It works differently in the latest version of No Man's Sky, because before it just scanned nearby flora, fauna and minerals, but now it also tells you about nearby buildings, cargo drops and resources on top of that. The visor is handy because it's got a massive range on it, and you can move your cursor over the different icons to see what's nearby. For a brief guide to what this all means, Resource deposits are where you're going to find precious metals like gold, shelters are where you can recharge your shield, and you might also stumble upon a random mission here. Cargo drops contain resources but usually require a key or deposit of some sort to open it up, and trading depots are where you can park your ship to access the galactic trade hub to sell stuff. Gathering resources for an upgrade or item is a major part of No Man's Sky, but sometimes searching for it can be a bit of a pain. There's just so much stuff to distract you that you might forget what you're supposed to be looking for. I was hunting for cadmium, or was it laddium, or maybe schnadium, and then you're like, get boiled by toxic rain and die. Well, worry no more, because you can pin yourself a reminder for what you need, and it will flash up from time to time in the bottom right corner of your HUD. You can pin all the ingredients for an item you want by simply hovering over it in your inventory crafting menu and pressing the pin button. It's as easy as that. Now those items will show up in your HUD so you can find them. You've heard of a kingpin, but I consider myself a pin king now, and that's a joke I have spent absolutely ages on. So there we have it, 10 tips to help you out on No Man's Sky. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Let us know what you think down in the comments below and smash that like button, and we'll see you next time. Bye!